working in tight spaces, it's pretty vital to have good lighting. I find myself trying to look under something in a unit, or trying to look right behind something that's kind of dark, tracing a wire maybe. And like, even when I'm in attics, you need the light to find a good stud to stand on while you're running ducting. And so I found, like, the camera on the phone, the flashlight, it does kind of work, but the only real benefit that the phone flashlight has is it's always with you. A few years ago, I started carrying dedicated, wearing it on my hat, which I find it has the added benefit of not having to hold it. I always have a free hand in which to work with, an extra one. There was times where I was in attics running ductwork, and I literally have to put my phone in my mouth, and so I could see where I was stepping. So this helps out a lot, and it's always pointing to where I'm looking. So, like, if I'm looking this way, that's where it's pointing, which is handy when you're testing voltages and it's dark and things like that. There's a lot of different ones, and they vary in lumens, how bright they are, and price, how expensive or cheap they are. Battery life as well, big, small. There's a lot of different ones that clip onto your hats too, or they wear as a headband. But and this hat I'm wearing, it's Carhartt. It's fairly old. It's had its share of attics and rooftops and all that stuff. So that flashlight I like. This is the Nebo Mycro, and it's the 500 lumen one, and that's spelled M-Y-C-R-O. It's at its highest setting, like I said, 500 lumens, and that comes from this main spotlight, and it has a total of 7 different light modes. So the spotlight is 500 lumens. Let's see if I can get that in focus there. And then your high, so that's your spotlight. Your high is one more press, your medium, and then your low. And that's all on spotlight. And then you've got a COB floodlight button. So that does these two on it. And it broadcasts it's wider. And that has 3 settings. So you have the high, which is 200 lumens. This is 200 lumens. Your low, which is 50. And then you press and hold. Let's see if I can get it to do it. You press and hold the floodlight, and it does red. And that's 250 lumens. And that's actually quite a bit of light at night. It helps distinguish shadows and things. So this clip has never gotten knocked off my hat. It just slides. Well, I say just slides. You've got to put some force into it, not much, but it's never gotten knocked off, and that's the main thing. I mean, you don't want to be in the middle of an attic or a unit and your hat comes flying off. It's adjustable, so that angle of the light, you can point it down if you're working like this, or you can have it facing in front of you. So that's helpful. It's a nice feature, honestly. There's times where I will just take it off my hat, set it down, and angle it at what I'm working on, and that way I have light in a different spot. I can kind of get in there and work on things, and so that's pretty helpful. It is also rechargeable over here on the side, which in my opinion is the only type of work light that is worth carrying. It also uses the USB-C, so it's already something I have because of my phone, and that's pretty much the standard nowadays. I use the floodlight setting, that broad one on these two, when it's nighttime and I'm just walking in my truck, or I'm walking on a roof, helping me to avoid on the rooftop. I'm avoiding, pipes that kind of blend in with the roof. A lot of times there's black iron pipe, gas pipe running through, and if it's been dark enough and when the moon's not out or it's snowing, it can be pretty hard to see. So That's pretty nice. The spotlight is nice, that direct beam, when it's daytime, and your eyes, those roofs are just solid white and they're super bright, so your eyes get used to that, that intensity. Even I wear polarized glasses that are prescription, and even with that, your eyes just get used to how much light is coming in at you. And so you crawl inside of a unit, or you're in the tile space inside of a store, and suddenly, even though it's not that dark, you cannot see very far, and so you just need a flashlight for a couple seconds to look around. And that's what I use it for, like 98% of the time. It's just a quick couple seconds, and then you've seen what you need to see and you can move on. The red light feature actually comes in pretty handy too. When I know it's going to be a long night and I'm walking from the roof hatch to a unit on the roof, I use the red light feature for that time. I carry dedicated flashlights as well, bigger ones that have better battery life. I put those in the truck, and when I know it's going to be a long night, I'm going to be on the roof a long time, I carry them up on there with me. And that way, the red light, I can walk to the unit while keeping my hands warm, and then I can pull out the big flashlight, turn off the red light, and then I can illuminate my workspace, and then I can turn it off, flip my red light back on, and walk safely back to the roof hatch. And once again, it's just, I always have this on me. I don't use it for hours a day, and there's times where it'll even be days at a time where I don't use it either. But its size and convenience, I think the battery life for it is perfectly normal. You just have to keep in mind that the brighter a light is, the brighter your flashlight is shining, the shorter it's going to run. And that is true with any light other than, your plug-in 120 volt or 240 in some cases lights. So let me know what work lights you use. I'm always up to trying new ones, learning new ways of doing things, better ways of doing them.